Most people think fat loss is complicated. It isn't. What is complicated is keeping the fat off. That's the part almost no one talks about. So instead of chasing shortcuts, gimmicks, or the latest diet trend, this video breaks down what actually works, according to nutrition experts who study this for a living. Not opinions, not hype, principles that hold up. Let's start with the foundation. Fat loss only happens when your body uses more energy than it takes in. That's it. No special food magically burns fat. No meal timing hack overrides this. If you consistently eat fewer calories than your body needs to maintain weight, fat mass goes down. But here's the catch. Weight loss alone isn't the goal. The goal is to lose fat, not muscle. Because losing muscle slows metabolism, worsens body composition, and makes rebound weight gain more likely. So the question becomes, how do you create a calorie deficit without sacrificing muscle? The first piece is resistance training. If you want your body to keep muscle during a diet, you have to give it a reason to do so. That reason is progressive strength training. Lifting weights tells your body, this tissue is useful, don't burn it. Without that signal, muscle loss becomes far more likely. Next is the size of the calorie deficit. Bigger isn't better. A moderate deficit leads to better muscle retention and higher adherence. A good rule of thumb is slow, steady progress, especially if you're already fairly lean. Aggressive dieting might work short-term, but it increases fatigue, muscle loss, and the odds of quitting. Protein intake comes next. Higher protein diets consistently help with fat loss because they preserve muscle, increase satiety, slightly raise energy expenditure. You don't need extreme numbers, but you do need enough, especially when calories are low. After that, cardio becomes a tool, not the driver. Cardio can help increase energy expenditure, but too much of it, especially high-impact or poorly timed cardio, can interfere with recovery and training performance. A balanced approach works best. Strength training stays the priority. Now let's talk about food choices. Here's where people often overcomplicate things. Fat loss still comes down to calories and macros, but food choice affects how easy it is to stay consistent. Highly processed, hyperpalatable foods make hunger harder to control. Single-ingredient foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, simple carbs, tend to do the opposite. That doesn't mean treats are forbidden. In fact, making foods off-limits often backfires. The most sustainable approach is one where you choose flexibility, not one where you feel restricted by rules. Most meals are simple. Occasional treats are planned. Nothing feels forbidden. That mindset matters. Now there's an important distinction to make. Getting beach lean and getting stage shredded are not the same thing. Beach lean allows for some inconsistency. Stage-level leanness does not. The difference isn't special tricks, it's duration and precision. The leaner you get, the more uncomfortable the process becomes. That's why extreme leanness isn't a realistic or healthy goal for most people. And this brings us to stubborn fat. The areas that lean out last are largely determined by genetics and sex. There's no way to target them directly. But something interesting happens as muscle mass increases. The same amount of fat spread over more muscle looks leaner. That's one reason muscular people often appear leaner at higher body fat percentages. If fat truly is stubborn, the only option is continued consistency, up to a point. Past that point, discomfort skyrockets and muscle loss risk increases. That's where coaches often pull people back instead of pushing further. Next, let's shift from physiology to psychology, because this is where most diets fail. The biggest mistake people make is relying on motivation. Motivation feels powerful at the start, but it fades. When the plan depends on willpower alone, it collapses. What actually works is building habits that reduce decision-making. This means designing your environment to work with you, not against you. Make high-calorie foods harder to access. Make lower-calorie foods easier. Out of sight, out of reach, less friction. This isn't weakness, it's strategy. Humans default to convenience. You can use that to your advantage. Another critical piece is self-monitoring. People who maintain fat loss long-term tend to track something. That might be body weight trends, it might be calorie intake, it might be consistent routines. The key isn't obsession, it's feedback. Without feedback, small problems turn into big ones. Exercise also plays a major role in maintenance, not just loss. Regular training improves appetite regulation and helps stabilize weight over time. And structure matters. People with plans, coaches, programs, systems tend to do better than those who wing it. Finally, let's talk about supplements. Most fat burners sound great on paper. In practice, they fall short. Some increase energy expenditure slightly. Others reduce appetite temporarily. But many have downsides: tolerance, side effects, poor quality control, weak evidence. The truth is simple. There are no supplements that cause fat loss. The supplements worth considering are the ones that support the process: protein powder, if food intake is low creatine, for training performance fish oil, or basic vitamins. If intake drops during dieting, caffeine used strategically, not constantly. They support consistency. They don't replace it. When fat loss is done right, maintenance becomes easier. Calories increase, hunger stabilizes, structure remains, and over time, the process feels less restrictive, not more. The real skill isn't losing fat. It's building a system you can live with. That's how results last. So now I'm curious. What part of fat loss do you think people overcomplicate the most? Is it calories, protein, or sticking to the plan long enough to see results? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That genuinely helps us reach more people and keep putting out clear, evidence-based content. Until next time, this has been Iron Routine, where we cut through the noise so you don't have to. Thanks for watching.